What if animals from the past could just suddenly reappear in our world? Hi, it's me, and this is my channel, and today we are going to be answering the question, what if ancient wolf dogs came back? Because we know that dogs descended from wolves. But what if some of their wolfy ancestors came back to say hi? The answer may surprise you. I think we all have an innate curiosity about the unknown. We ponder things like, what if there really are aliens out there, or what if dinosaurs never went extinct? But recently, a new study has looked at an even more interesting what if. What if ancient wolf dogs could come back? Let's dive into the science behind this fascinating topic. The idea of wolf dogs is not a new one. In fact, the very dog you may have at home could have wolf in its ancestry. Modern dogs descended from wolves, and the earliest evidence of this goes back around 400,000 years. Now, scientists don't entirely agree on when exactly dogs diverged from wolves, but we do know that they did interbreed with wolves long after that split. This means that your purebred pooch could have some wolf DNA floating around in its genetic makeup. But wait, does that mean that we could potentially see a wolf-dog hybrid running around our streets? Well, not quite yet. Scientists do believe that genes can jump between species sometimes. However, when they do, they often don't work properly. For example, horses and donkeys can interbreed to produce mules, but mules are almost always sterile. This is because genes from different species don't always play nicely together. So even if a dog and a wolf were to have a baby, that pup would probably be in. So why do genes sometimes jump species like this? Well, it's likely due to something called integration. Integration happens when two species interbreed, and then one species incorporates the other's genetic material into its own gene pool through reproduction. In the case of dogs and wolves, scientists think that humans may have actually helped this process along by encouraging dogs to breed with wolves. But it wasn't just friendly mingling for the sake of mingling. Humans actually wanted bigger, stronger dogs, so they encouraged breeding with wolves to get the desired traits. One scientist even compared this to the domestication of plants. People typically only notice changes in morphology, or the form and structure of organisms, over many generations of selective breeding. But on a genetic level, the changes happen much faster than that. This means that while the physical traits of dogs changed drastically over time, their DNA changed much more quickly than you might expect. But all of that said, scientists estimate that modern dogs and wolves diverged somewhere between 14,000 and 30,000 years ago. The reason this is important is that it gives us a rough idea of how long it would take for a dog to evolve back into a wolf. It's estimated that dogs need to acquire around 14 genetic changes to turn them back into wolves. And at the current rate of mutation, that would take somewhere between 200,000 and 300,000 years. So we're definitely safe from a wolf-dog uprising for now. But what about other animals? Scientists used the same method to determine how long it would take for other animals to re-evolve if humans had interfered. Take the woolly mammoth, for example. Woolly mammoths went extinct around 10,000 years ago and would need to acquire around 99 genetic changes to return to their former glory. At the current mutation rate, this would take around 2 million years. Now, scientists also took a closer look at the thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, which went extinct only 3,000 years ago. The thylacine went extinct due to human activity, so it's a bit of a special case. But assuming it had continued to evolve naturally, scientists estimate that it would need to acquire around 86 genetic changes to go from modern species to, well, slightly less modern species. At the current rate of mutation, this would take around 1.6 million years. So while we may not have to worry about ancient wolf dogs coming back anytime soon, we may have to worry about ancient megafauna making a comeback much sooner than we think. As the climate continues to change, scientists predict that we will likely see many species that went extinct during the last ice age make a reappearance. And given enough time, these species may even start to look and act like their prehistoric ancestors once more. So keep an eye out for woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and maybe even some ancient wolf dogs. So, do you have any what-if questions that you want me to tackle next? Let me know in the comments below, and it may just become a future episode. And before you go, a huge shout out to Brilliant for supporting this video, and thank you for watching.